this is still such a young game and people already making this level of plays. And I think if my word from the top is correct, we're going to continue to follow Kairos after that win. What a great story. But they have another huge obstacle. They've got to go up against Crème Fresh. Crème Fresh just coming off a 3-0 of Rising Moon, who we saw. For those who don't know, Crème Fresh, a top Western team, arguably the top Western team, towards the end of Splatoon 1, and, you know, they kind of had trouble finding their footing here at the start of Splatoon 2. Kiver, formerly of Crème Fresh, left. They really needed a little bit to get their groove going, but they recently got a huge win. I cannot overstate how big their win was at Booyah Battle 6 last week, and they have just kept this momentum rolling. That's what Kairos has to get through right now. Now, they beat STDX, they can beat anybody, but there is no team hotter in Splatoon right now than Crème Fresh. Let's see if Kairos can keep this going and punch their ticket to Winners Finals. Again, the winner of this gets to Winners Finals.
Wait, the name is Crème Fresh?
Crème Fresh.
Like creme fraiche? Like, I like it. All right, I like puns. I don't know if you can tell, but all right, I like it. All right, so we're seeing these two go up, and I'm glad we get to follow the story of Kairos a little bit longer, coming off that fantastic win. I'm sure they put it all out there on the line, but you know what? You got to gather your energy, repool yourself, get yourself going, because we're not done yet. Or you're not done yet. We're far from done. We have a lot of matches to cast. So thank y'all for sticking here, right here on InkTV Splat. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, follow them on Twitter as well, and show the love, because if you like competitive Splatoon, this is the place you want to be. And guess what? If you like competitive Splatoon, maybe your friends will too. Bring them in. Check out Squidboards. Get all the information you need, because this is the Squidboards Splat Series. This is the one place you want to be, and the one place you want to go to for all your Splatoon needs. 1 and 2. Although we definitely on that 2 wave right now.
We on that too.
We on that too. Discuss the latest patch. If you guys want to learn and maybe find some teammates y'all can play with, if y'all want to play with as well, you can do so on Squidboards. You get into the next tournament next month. Like, yeah, it's definitely an open community.
It is, and I want to say, there is a tournament every single weekend. I'm not exaggerating when I say there is a tournament of this caliber happening every single weekend. I mean, you look at the list. I'm part of a team called the Splat Stats team. Shoutouts to the Splat Stats team. We have tracked the tournaments that, and if you want to play and if you want to learn from the best players and play against the best players, you have oftentimes 2 to 3 opportunities per week to enter tournaments. Not per month, per week. And because it's online, you can do that. Most tournaments are open entry, very few invitationals. Get in there, play, learn from playing the best. You gotta get your butt kicked sometimes. That's okay. Learn and grow as a player, grow as a team, and the resources exist there. Like you said, PK, get on Squidboards, get into the Discords, get on Ink Academy. There's so much to learn. This is such a great growing game, a growing community. Tweet this out, show everyone what we're capable of. Kairos certainly showing what they're capable of. Up next against Crème Fresh. I cannot wait to see how this goes. Winner moves on to Winners Finals.
Crème Fresh. That's going to take a minute to get used to. Crème Fresh, Crème Fresh, Crème Fresh. Just getting into my vocabulary right now.
Well, and it's difficult too because their quote-unquote B team is used to be called Cream Fresh. I think they recently switched it to Grande Fresh, but it used to be Cream Fresh and Crème Fresh. And boy, oh boy, some people, myself included, had trouble with it for a minute.
I like the idea of a B team. I mean, everybody needs a backup. You never know what happens. Yeah. I like the idea, but all right, Crème Fresh. I like the idea of it. That's another thing. When you make your team, y'all can get really creative with it. Like you can pun. People love puns. I love puns. You love puns. Like, what is it? Shoot, not to plug with anything, but my team's called the Incredibles. Like it's just funny.
Oh yeah, no, there have been some great names. There's one called Just for the Halibut. That's a good one.
I remember that team. As a matter of fact, what was Bill Trina's team? They had a good team name. I can't think of it though.
I can't even remember. But there's things like American Squidiots. That's a classic one.
I love that one.
There's Feel Good Inc. That great song by the Gorillaz, but spell it with a K instead of a C. They entered this tournament actually. So you know what I want to see? I want a team name that's based on a pun. Get really far. Like, none of these teams are really based around, like, puns. I think one of the top... Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think of, like, the top team that is based around a pun.
Speaking of puns, shout out to Pingit. The team we were talking about for Bill Trennan was Tentacle Difficulties.
Oh yeah,
that's what they were. Tentacle Difficulties.
Tentacle Difficulties. What a great name. I think maybe license. Oh, Get Kraken, duh. Get Kraken, that was dumb. Get Kraken.
I like that. Oh, that
Get
doesn't
Kraken,
quite work.
a mainstay in Splatoon 1, as well as their B team, Got Kraken. Two teams that did really well over the course of Splatoon 1. God, I can't believe that took me so long to remember.
So yeah, I guess in Splatoon 2, they'd be known as Get Kraken Back.
Hashtag bring back the Kraken.
No, we're fine. We have the baller. This is okay. Actually, I do want to ask your thoughts on that. Let's get a little bit of a personal conversation on that. How do you feel about the difference between the specials in Splatoon 1 and 2?
Oh, I love it. I hate powerful specials. I hate when specials do a lot of stuff. Actually, my favorite change from Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 is the removal of both of the Inkzuka, the Kraken, and the Bubbler. I did not like how they could single-handedly take over a situation. It's one thing to have specials, lots of specials. It's one thing to have specials when combined that can do good, but those specials could single-handedly turn around the course of a game used by one player. I'm not talking about when your full team gets a bubble. I'm talking about you could come in with Kraken, take out 3 people, and then if you were a custom range blaster, turn around and get your flick. There's no special really like that in Splatoon 2, not to that level. Now, that's not to say that the specials don't have problems, but at the same time, it's not on the same level. So I'm very, very happy that that is the case. Believe me when I say the hashtag bring back Kraken, I'm speaking for the term get Kraken. I am very happy to see it gone.
Me personally, the Inkzuka is something that I've realized, I've learned that I'm definitely a minority with this opinion, but I didn't think the Inkzuka was too bad. I actually enjoyed the Inkzuka. I thought it was fun. It was one of my favorite weapons to use ever. But that said, the Kraken had to go. I mean, mind you can shut it down, but I think the Baller is a much better option than the Kraken. And I feel like I would rather deal with a single bubble than a team of ink armors. I'm not quite sure, but a team of ink armors can get really overwhelming and pretty annoying to deal with. And I mean, I mind you, they have this new patch, so maybe it's not so bad anymore. I haven't had that much experience with it yet. But I've been considering, do I hate the bubble more than the ink armor? Because I'm starting to think I don't, but I'm not sure. Again, it's a consideration I have. But the bubble was definitely very overpowered. The Kraken had to go. Inkzuka, while I didn't mind it, I definitely understand the points why you think it needs to be gone and why it was gone. And honestly, in Splatoon 2, I like that a lot of the specials are more team-oriented, where you pop them, as a team effort. You'll have ink armor going when someone throws out an ink storm. So now you're covering a lot of turf, and you can take a few more hits on your entire team. So I like that. Mm-hmm. I definitely like that.
That's a pretty great summary of how it is. And, I think that part of the reason that we've seen ink armor so prevalent, and I mean, this applies to the specials in Splatoon 1 as well, it's just the power of, for one, the accessibility of it. You've got a lot of different weapons that can use it, who can serve their job. But I'd say the early game's best weapon, the Tri-Slosher, had it. And I mean, it's all part of it. Part of the reason the Tri-Slosher was so great was because ink armor was so great, too. But that's something that you saw a lot. Yeah, you would see not just triple ink armor comps, you could see 2 or even 3 Tri-Sloshers on a comp as well. So I think it all in hand, but it sounds like we're more than not on the same page with how we believe about this, at least. So shout outs to Nintendo removing those.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I do like the uniqueness of it. And actually, I love the variety we get. Well, the semi-variety on Splatoon 2, but I think that's a story for another time. But I do appreciate the differences between Splatoon 1 and... Actually, you know what? Can I ask your thoughts? Because I feel like I don't talk about this openly enough with people. How do you feel about rollers?
About rollers?
Yeah.
You mean as of now or as a concept?
Between Splatoon 1 and 2.
I mean... Unquestionably, they're worse in this game, and I mean, you can look no further than the Dynamo roller if you really want to make this argument. Now, it's a roller. It's not conventionally the same as a roller, but it's still a roller, so it needs to be mentioned. The Dynamo roller, man, I had to get destroyed by Dynamo rollers as much as the next. No weapon deserved what happened to the Dynamo, man. It can't paint. It can barely kill. It does not have a good kit here at the start. You know, with all due respect to the great, and there are some great Dynamo rollers, I think you'd agree with me when you say it was a lot better in the olden days.
Agreed.
The carbon roller, actually Redvec being one of the best, maybe the best carbon roller that we were exposed to in the Western scene in Splatoon 1, has gone on Twitter and very often talked about just how that weapon was gutted as well. Still very quick, but much more difficult to kill than before, and of course not having burst canceling with the burst bomb hurting that as well. And the regular roller, I mean, that's the one that I feel like didn't get hit as hard. I mean, if you're gonna work with one, that might be the one to do it. It does have a really strong kit for what it's trying to do. But I mean, as a whole, I think it's pretty inarguable that the class got hurt, and we'll see in that big October patch that Nintendo said that we're getting, where the main weapons will be balanced as opposed to the specials that we got in this last one. I will be very interested in seeing what they do with the rollers, because I mean, you can look at the stats, man. We don't see a lot of rollers, and there's a reason for that.
Exactly. I used to tout, it's a joke, of course, but I used to tout on my stream that I was the best roller 2015, 2016, because I felt like I was very efficient with the rollers. But when I picked them up in Splatoon 2, they are very outclassed by many of the weapons in this game. If you're a shooter, sloshers, they can't seem to do anything that can kill. Like, sloshers can kill a roller before you get I'll say a splat roller in this case, before you can get a single slosh out. The only way you're really getting the KO is if you get the jump on them completely. You can't win. I mean, the splat roller has a pretty decent kit with the splashdown and the curling bomb to make sure you're getting in and out of areas quickly. But when it comes to weapons, I mean, even the base of rollers, like the whole thing where you now roll slowly when you first start rolling with it, you know what I mean? With that base of it, and then you get up to your main speed. I don't understand why that quality was placed on rollers. I don't think rollers were even OP. I mean, everyone thought rollers were really tough to beat when Splatoon first came out, but then as the game and the meta evolved, we realized how to deal with it, and rollers became a pretty balanced weapon. Maybe slightly less than balanced, but still, it was a really good weapon you could use in most situations, and rollers were just hurt. I don't understand why, and I mean, make rollers great again. I really do miss them. I want them to come back. Even Dynamos. I don't like Dynamos, but you know what? As you said, they didn't deserve what done to them. They didn't. Nope.
Nintendo did the Dynamo dirty. I think that's the way to phrase it.
Did the Dynamo dirty, yes.
Let's talk a little bit about hashtag that. Let's talk a little bit about Crème Fresh. So Crème Fresh in Splatoon 1. It wasn't what they often did, but they were kind of famous for being the team that would run all snipers. Now, they would do that mostly in squads. They wouldn't do it a lot in tournament when money was in, but the point that I'm trying to make is they have the capability to run snipers and very often do. Brian being their mainstay, but Lean actually, I don't know if you followed Splatoon 1 a lot. Lean, the Squiffer master. I'm not talking about just being like the best. I'm not talking about being the best Squiffer. I'm talking about being one of the best overall players who happened to use Squiffer. That was the level of mastery.
Squiffers are still a pretty decent weapon. And matter of fact, I appreciate their kit in Splatoon 2 as well, at least for the classic Squiffer, and I can't wait to get more. But, I mean, is the Squiffer going to be efficient on Inkblot Academy Splat Zones? It depends on your point. Depends on what the position that you take. It could be great. It could be very bad. It all depends on how it plays out. But regardless, we are here in winners semis between Kairos, who we just saw go 3-2 over the first seed in this tournament, STDX Set to Destroy. And we have Crème Fresh going up with, I actually like the loadouts between both teams.
Yeah, one player that we need to keep an eye on here, I'm glad you mentioned out. The Rapid Blaster there, Majin, one of the best doing it right now. Really one of the pioneers in terms of at least how the Rapid Blaster is being played. Playing it as more of an anchor function. So, keep an eye on that as we see the same Rapid Blaster we've been talking about seemingly all day. Jeremy going to go in and get a kill. And now the pressure is all the way back on the plat. Majin out there on the left, spotted out. You're going to see one or two troops go down there. Gamer going to continue to put pressure here. And this seems like we're saying the same exact stuff we said last set.
I do want to mention that while this is the third time we're seeing Inkblot Academy, this is the first time we're seeing it in this format with the tower actually in the middle. So you can see that it's dividing the team, the walls, so that way you can actually cover one side while unbeknownst to you, the enemy team, bye-bye gamer, sorry. Unbeknownst, but that goes to what I'm saying. You don't know what's happening, so he thought he was safe. He ran back, but the enemy team dropped the bomb right there. But Kairos right now is holding control, even though the area does look pretty like 50% or 45% in Kairos in Crème Fresh's favor. They're not taking control back, and they need to do this now if they want to have a chance. But with 6 seconds left, it's not looking likely. 4 seconds, 3. Oh wait, bomb rush from Majin, but still not enough. Unfortunately, he really did try, threw bombs over the tower, but that is a clean knockout by Kairos.
Divide and conquer. You saw 2 people going on the plat there. You saw a couple of people coming off that side to try to get that flank. They just called things out. They had the range advantage there. Once again, you see 3 total kills there on the part of Crème Fresh. There are not many games you can win if you only get 3 kills. And I think that really goes to show the communication of Kairos, how they're able to pick people out and be efficient with their kills, not trades, outright kills. And once again, not enough things challenging Gamer. We saw the unfortunate suction bomb taking out Gamer, but as long as Gamer was able to get shop set up there in the middle of Inkblot, there wasn't a lot they could do. And I think that's a big reason why they had to take those side routes and why they got off as frequently as they did.
And I think that was the first time we even saw Gamer launch his sprinkler, right? He gets right there in the middle. He took point on the tower, and he dropped the sprinkler so he can cover the area around him. Meanwhile, he's putting pressure with his main weapon on the point spots of the opposing teams. That way they can't just come in and take over the splat zones. My man was really putting in a lot of just offensive, well, actually defensive and offensive pressure, literally covering turf for the splat zones as well as putting pressure against the enemy team. He was literally a one-man army right there, so shouts to him holding it down for his team. But will that come through again on Starfish Mainstage? He only has, well, actually no, this is tower control. So while you do have a point, the awkward part about this map and this mode is that the tower literally runs past the points of the enemy team. But you would think, okay, well then it's going to be really tough. You should be able to knock him off the tower. But that's not always quite the case, because that means you get close enough thanks to the tower positioning that you're able to throw a bomb or slosh some ink up there with the slosher, or even get some rapid blast up there. So if there is somebody up there covering turf, you're immediately putting pressure on them. So it's not as easy as you think.
I think Jeremy just immediately came out and got 2 splats there right off the get-go. They have to do something about Jeremy. Neither team that they played has really been able to find a way to effectively challenge Jeremy with that rapid blaster. Such a strong weapon here. They're able to get some control. They've got 2 specials up. Taking out Jeremy, actually a really big play there by Majin. That's going to leave only Red left. Not going to be able to do anything to continue this push. Red going to get taken out as well, and watch how quickly this map turns purple. You know that they're going to be trying to get themselves a little bit of an advantage as Brian gets up on the tower here. Kronos right here, going to go up here on the left side. Maybe use this as a spot for the Inkjet. Oh, that's got it. Kronos is going to have to find a way to get this kill before Jeremy gets back, and I think Kronos is going to get spotted out. This push is going to slow down. He does have armor, and he's going to combine that with his Inkjet. Not going to find a kill, though, and actually get taken out by Jeremy.
But you know, Inkjet needed to get nerfed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It did. Oh, the killer whale. I love it. But anyway, right now we have Kairos on their own push and actually taking the lead and sitting at the point, and look like they're pushing it 78, 76, 75 as the first checkpoint. And even though there's a KO, Raziel is right there to pick up the slack and is covering up turf immediately. Ink armor for his team, but not largely because he's the only one alive and opts to run back with the lead secure, opting to run back for his team to come back and make another push later on. And that's how you should do it. Just because you're on the tower does not mean you need to keep it. If your entire team gets knocked out, keep yourself alive and try to keep a little bit of positioning for your team. Don't let them just take full control. Get full control. He did the right thing, and Raziel was still following him. And you can see his exploits as he puts pressure on the team, almost having ink armor back entirely for his team, and just keeping pressure on the enemy team. Although the rapid blaster, you can tell he's about to make a push and see how this one turns out. Oh, what do you know?
Oh, just waiting, patience. Why not? Why not? Get a little help there from your teammate. But, you know, we can't say it enough how important it is. How different having 1 up and 0 up is. It is so different, which is why Raziel felt confident enough to retreat and now make this flank here. If you go 4 down, you can't mitigate it. Turf just goes. You have nothing that you can say about it. So even if the other team doesn't make a huge push, especially at this level, sometimes just losing that turf is what turns what could be just a regular push into a loss, or what turns a defense into a non-successful defense, I guess, for lack of a better term here. Jeremy once again going to push it just a little bit further to 53, but they're just not giving Crème Fresh a lot of openings at the moment.
And you see what I was talking about, that the tower goes right past their point. So actually a Rapid Blaster is really good to carry the tower, or be the escort of the tower at the point, because the Rapid Blaster can just cover up a lot wide area and shut down the point. So Charger was on the point, and he Rapid Blast up there, he had to run away. So then he went to the point that was right in front of him, and he ended up getting KO'd right there, but he was putting pressure on that area. And I want to see how Red handles this. Getting a complete jump on him. Running away, but he tries to go for the loop, and Red doesn't even choose to chase him. Right now, we have Crème Fresh putting on a little bit of pressure. Someone got knocked off the tower, almost past the first checkpoint. They got to get on it a little quickly, or they're going to reset the checkpoint timer, and they're not they're able to do it.
Great play.
That was really close from them.
That was really close. Red did a great job of coming around there and making the flank. Unfortunately, only able to get one out of them. That's going to allow Kronos to move up into that danger position and put a lot of pressure on. That's 2 consecutive 3 downs. They're definitely going to move past this one. And these next few points are going to be some of the easiest for them to get, because you get some protection here. Now they're going to move on to the final checkpoint. And if you get past this final checkpoint, you can almost walk into the GG zone. And it looks like that is where it's going to be. Brian spots out one behind, and unfortunately is going to get pincered there. Maybe a little bit too much pressure at a spot that there weren't enough members. But in any case, great defense, but a great push. They got what they came for, moving it to 7 and past that final checkpoint in the event that they do need to make a counter.
I do appreciate the way they were playing. Excuse me. I do appreciate the way they were playing. We saw them really pushing forward. And then right now, you see him with the Stinger, or the Stingray, and he's using the movement from the tower to give himself more movement, putting on a lot of pressure. Gamer escorting into the tower, but Kairos has to push this really far right now, because they are down. They got hurt with that final push by Crème Fresh, and now Crème Fresh, all they got to do is play defense. Don't even need to keep control. Look at it right now. We have Majin just covering up turf, putting on pressure, and you see the jump right there. Is he going to be able to get the punishment? And looks like he's not. Yo, Red had something to say about that. He said, my teammate, no. And the Inkblot is going to save him right there. They are able to make a final push. It is 3v3. They are on the tower. Seafraud right now is putting on a lot of pressure. They have claimed Arc. They have challenged the tower, took him off the tower, reclaimed the tower, and now Crème Fresh is now tied 1-1 versus Kairos.
And I actually want to kind of bring that in. That play might have been more important. I mean, of course it ended the game, but that play might have actually won them the game. There were still 2 of them up, and one of them had bomb rush in that situation. If Seafraud hadn't gotten on the tower right there, if Seafraud had gotten taken out there by Gamer, they had Gamer on tower to be able to put a lot of bullets on anyone who was coming, and they still had Jeremy up as well. So, I mean, shout-outs to Seafraud there, getting the play that they needed to make in that situation and getting the win for them. And you got to feel good about that if you're Crème Fresh, with that very powerful push and just overall solid play there, getting yourself your first win. But now we move on to one of so if the Reef is my favorite way, or if my favorite game map and mode for Rainmaker, Manta Maria is second, because you can go down the Alley of Death, you can go along the longest right path you can take, or you can go behind a very, very out of the way left side. But you have 3 opportunities to make this happen.
I was going to say that there were so many ways, and the best part about Manta Maria with Rainmaker is that there are 2 mad dashes you can make. The immediate one is from the center straight up to that wall, and then from there, you have to fight through that quick middle, because a lot of people are going to be there. You're going to be posted above, so you're going to have a lot of ink raining down on you. No ink storm implied. A lot of ink raining down on you. But then when you get to that right side, there's another mad dash. You can literally take one Rainmaker shot, land it on the podium, and make a mad dash if there's nobody else firing ink at you. So it can be done. It's all about how quickly you're going to be able to get it done. And also, we're going to be taking up points. I am expecting Gamer to shine on this map, because there's a lot of points that you can just climb on top of. And also, I should mention, you can also jump over a lot of walls while escorting the Rainmaker. So you can actually jump over walls and take a wayward side. As you said, you could take the path less traveled and go over to the left side. It's a lot more turbulent. You got to go up walls and around things, but you know what? it's not commonly taken. It could be an option if everybody is defending the middle or right side. It's all about the way that you think and you perceive to be the best mode to get those points towards that podium.
I can't wait to see this again. Two very strong performances from both teams here in these first two games. They've both thrown a good hard punch at each other. Now let's see. We're entering round 3 here, and it's not always about who lands the most knockout punches. Sometimes those body blows do add up here, and I'm really excited to see. I really want to see here the impact that Brian can have and the dynamic between the Splatling and the Charger, because we've seen what Gamer can do in this, all making top 12 in a tournament like this. Holy cow, very much outperforming your seeding. They came to play today, so shout outs to them, making some amazing stuff happen. A lot of them still continuing their losers bracket runs. Remember, there are 2 sides to a double elimination bracket, and although we only get to show you part of it, there's still a lot of story left to be told.
Well, we'll see what happens with these players as we get ourselves fixed up, ready to go. Get this stream tournament matchup for you guys. I'm excited to see how these players go. Also, I love the logos.
Yeah, logos, you know, here's something that I want to talk about real quick that the Splatoon community has done a better job of now than they used to. Branding, man. Teams, you all are amazing at this game. You have such great personalities. Brand yourself. Get the logo up there. Get a steady stream of content. Really really just showcase what you can do, showcase what your team has done, and, you know, make yourselves look good, because we've seen some sponsors, Silver Sanction, Set Destroy X, getting in there. I mean, there's goodies to be had, you just got to get in there, but I think we are finally loaded back into the game, and we're already seeing right on the perspective of Gamer, just like we thought we would.
You got to keep going.
Sure, no problem. So yeah, Gamer here on the left side, kind of getting pushed back. Unfortunately, Crème has done a great job already of establishing some control in the middle. They're going to get a bit of a magic dash lead here, getting all the way down to 44, going that far right side that we talked about, not necessarily the alleyway, but there is another way that you can go on right. They did a great job of displacing Gamer there. When you have a long-range weapon that is causing you fits, throw a bomb at them, do something. You've got to find a way to move them if you're going to go, because they are certainly not going to move unless given a reason to. See a little bloodbath here in the middle, going to be zooming in on Red now. Red being one of the true warriors, sticking to the weapon, and going to get taken out, unfortunately, by Brian, doing a great job setting up on the right side. They're going to try to do a little bit of a cheese push here. Jeremy might actually be able to get the lead. No, not quite enough. Majin hanging on. A lot of blood here in that middle zone. Maybe paint, rather. I don't know that I can necessarily call it blood. But it's been a very close matchup so far with just over a minute left to play. Kronos now going to try to put some pressure here. Does get one, trying to knock Gamer around here. And they're going to go for another push on the right as Brian follows some support there. Tries to put a shot there over the top with that new Rainmaker mechanic. With 2 down, they might have a shot. Redback going to get taken down. This is going to be another opportunity for a push to extend this lead.
And this is what I was talking about right here. Like, this immediate area. I mean, I don't like how far he's going down there, because now he lost that cover on the left side. He should have either sat back and waited for his team to do something. But you know what? He was able to push it back to the area where they had it. If they can grab this real quick, then they can make a quick push. But it looks like Kairos is going to be the one to grab it back. But will they actually get a KO with the inkjet by Kronos putting pressure on him? I like this, though. He's going further back, but then the relaunch of it is going to put him in the explosion. Oh.
Yeah,
I like how we just zoom out afterwards to get out of that. That was too much carnage. We can't show that on stream.
This,
that was unfortunate.
when can we get the PG-13 or R rating, adult rating, 18+ rating on this? In any case, Gamer going to be grabbing here. I like the fact that Gamer grabbed it here. Gamer not playing the aggressive weapon that they're going to need here, but one's going to come at them. Is going to be able to get it. Yes, I believe that was Kronos throwing caution to the wind, just running straight at it, saying, all right, Rainmaker, you have one shot to hit me, and if you don't, this game is over. Great job there by Crème, getting themselves second win that they needed now. Crème in commanding position to find a way to get themselves into winners finals for the second consecutive major tournament. And Kronos sitting at 13-2, showing you why the T-Tech is still one of the best weapons in Splatoon 2.
This is actually a big situation, considering the fact that we just had Kairos taking over the #1 seed, and now Crème Fresh is now up 2-1, who beat the #1 seed. So by transitive property, they are beating the #1 seed. Okay, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. But by momentum base, this is a big win for them. Kairos has to regroup, but I don't blame them. I mean, there have been times where somebody will give it all on the previous match that they just don't have it in them anymore to keep up that same intensity for the next round. That could be the case by Kairos, or maybe Kairos is just giving them a little freedom with their leads before they reel them back in and they start walking ahead. We'll see what happens though, as we are on arguably the most controversial mode, Splat zones on Moray Towers. From my experiences, I have had a lot of people say good things, great things, and terrible things about Moray Towers Splat zones. And it's interesting because you have two areas in two very small pits that you have to take over. And while you just got control of another zone, the enemy's already taking it back. And these zones are so tight that popular weapons like the Octobus, like the Tri-Slosher, can just take it back over for their team. You also have the Chargers, who are going to be able to see both zones and be able to put pressure on both zones. So how is this going to play out?
It's a great question here, and I'm really interested in seeing how the long-range components continue to match up. I have no doubt that Brian will stick on the sniper. Which sniper, I don't know, but I mean, there's no reason to switch off it when you get to Moray Towers, and that's really going to be the big presence, because you can continue to put pressure on the opponent's snipe, and I certainly expect that to be what both teams try to do early on in the game, but you can also get your snipe back. I think the question is just going to be who can get two down, who can stay up in the count. Big wipes aren't as much on this map as they are in other ones. At least I don't personally feel, because you have a number of ways to get back into the middle, and because bombs can do such a great job of taking back control. So I want to see what Brian can do. I think the onus is on Brian to make a big play here, or at least several, pretty normal plays. As we see the custom Splattershot Junior, this thing's been out for an hour? It has not been out long.
But you know what? It's going to be great because of his kit. The Autobomb sub is going to be great because you can throw that over to the enemy zone or wherever they're at where you don't have it and you're putting pressure on them. At the same time, your special is going to be the Inkstorm. And the Inkstorm is fantastic for Splat zones on Moray Towers because it can literally cover both zones as it's traveling over from one zone to the other. And then you see Raziel popping. Oh, I love the little Superman thing reacting to the ink armor. But you see him popping it and immediately getting chased down, winning the trade, taking out Kronos, and the other person just walks on by. Raziel is chasing him down instead. He's going after him, but we're able to get it. He's now located, and it looks like he took out the Charger, it looks like. I believe it was either the Charger or the Rapid Blaster, but regardless, through all of that, they did not even get much points. Through all that work that Raziel did, and that's what I was saying earlier, control on this map set can just swap at the blink of an eye.
It can, and now you're seeing all this pressure come up onto the snipe area. It's going to be on Majin especially. You see using that bomb rush there, trying to splat out Redbeck there. Gamer going to be waiting. They've got two people up on their snipe right now. Gamer going to try to splat out one. Gamer going to get taken out without getting anything, and none of them die in that exchange. Brian uses his own Inkstorm. Kronos going to try to take that out. Kronos does take it down. This should be what they need to get it, but another one snuck up there. They've got to find a way to get at least a penalty in this situation, and they do. Raziel runs down, not going to get taken out just yet. Finally does get taken out by Majin. They are able to get it back, but that was a big penalty that they absolutely needed to stack on in that situation, as the Rapid Blasters say, all right, let's just take a little time out here.
Basically, we're going to go with each other and prove who the best Rapid Blaster is, and they're both equal in strength, power, and skill. But regardless, we see Red right there going. I actually find it interesting that he's still rocking out with the Splat Roller in this set, because it's kind of, I mean, the jumping sloths can be really good, but overall, it can be really hindering because of all the many walls and verticality of Moray Towers. So it's interesting to opt to go with it, but Splashdown will be effective regardless, as we see Majin going through with this bomb rush, getting a kill on Red behind him, and still able to take over the other one, and they are now in control. 94 points is having a long way to go, but that Rapid Blaster is coming through. That kit of Rapid Blaster is doing really well, and he's still putting on pressure, seeing somebody ink and turf, but they look like they have ink armor up.
Yeah, that Ink Armor gets taken down pretty quickly. Rapid Blaster, one of the best in the business at taking that down. But this is what's important. Keep an eye on the kill count there up on the right side. The 1 and 2 down is what's really going to hurt because this is such a long map. If you all go down at the same time, at least you get to come down at the same time as well. But if you continually go 1 or 2 down on the opponent, it is very difficult for you to get the stranglehold that you need. A great job there by Gamer coming in from a very awkward angle, getting that Inkjet out, one of the best specials on this map and mode, and really any map and mode, hence why it got nerfed. And a big kill on Kronos here. What a great individual play by Gamer to take this one back.
I actually saw what he was doing. He took the incline and jumped down, but instead of like trying to go to the higher level, he just went to the lower platform and immediately jumped away, because that way he's covering 2 things. He can put pressure on the zone, and then when the Inkjet blows up, he's back behind relatively safe, relatively safe walls. So I definitely like that the Inkstorm coming out from that custom splatter shot Junior. We're going to see just how much. You can see it's took it over almost completely. But right now, Kairos is only 10 points away and counting before they're taking it back. They definitely need it for game 5. Look guys are pushing it 1, and with a 4-1 team comp right there, they're going to take it. Game 5 is coming up on your screen. But you know what? Seeing that custom Junior really do well on this map does my heart good. Honestly, I love that.
It does my heart good, and it's, I mean, what you said it. The fact that Red is sticking with this weapon, I think, is really cool. I think that it's awesome to see the quote-unquote low-tier mains, as you would call them in a fighting game, keep it going. Maybe not switching for a more meta pick. Awesome stuff. But now we're in a game 5. We saw this before. Kairos certainly no stranger to this. And if you're Crème Fresh, you got a little soul searching to do, because it wasn't a whipping. But it got given to you there. The majority of the game, they were trying to find ways back into the zone instead of switching control back and forth here. Now with Port Mackerel here, these nice, long, narrow alleyways, Brian should have a chance to make something happen, but I think they've got to be careful to not get outslayed, because that's about 3 matches they've been outslayed here by Kairos.
Well, I mean, it's going back and forth. Kairos is in another position where, you know, they were at before. They had a little bit of Crème Fresh had some momentum, but Kairos cut it off right then and there, and now they're going into Port Mackerel with a victory on their backs. Tower control on Port Mackerel, is going to be intense, because that initial grab for the tower will be tough. And the strange thing is, Chargers escorting the tower does really well because of how horizontal the map is. You can just cover up a lot of ink and take out the points, and most times a Charger will most likely be like a fire fin. They have the suction bomb rush, so when you get to those tower points, you're just throwing out bombs everywhere long enough for you to escort that tower past that checkpoint. You're also going to be able to, as a Charger, to take point and put pressure on a tower before they can get too far. But when you get into that spot where you're in their base at that second checkpoint, that's when it gets tight, because I've seen games from that point on, after a close point, just get lost, because you're taking out quick points and the area is so tight that they're now jumping into your base, they're now covering up turf, and you're fighting them and the timer of the tower moving into your base. So it's a lot to take care of if you lose center control. It's all about how they play it. Gamer going back to the heavy splat lane, and you know what? Seeing as how well he did last time he was on this map, I think that's the best choice.
Those who saw Inkstorm saw what the Rapid Blaster can do on this map and mode combination. You can sit up top and you can take out a tower push by yourself. Everyone remembers what Gray was able to do in that situation against the Japanese team they were up against in a 3v4, still managing to win. Both teams have a Rapid Blaster. I think it is a little bit of an understatement that they will be big players in this game. As we see that the baller get it!
Yo! That KO range! Are you serious? That's the first time I have seen the new baller get a KO from that range, and that was ridiculous. He was like, there was no way Baller 1.0 was going to do that. That is great, and it does my heart good. It makes it. I'm a happy PJ.
As we were talking about this, though, Kronos unfortunately getting splatted out, and now we're seeing a lot of aggressive pushing here, as Rascal going to be able to find a way to sneak around, get taken out by that nozzle nose there, but a 54 push, certainly nothing bad. Getting past that first checkpoint, not the most difficult task. So great job by Crème Fresh, at least not letting them get past all of that second checkpoint, because that's where things really get dangerous, as you were saying in the pregame. But now they're going to need to find a way to, I would say, they've got to find a way to get Brian into a strong position, as the baller coming out a second time. Maybe 1.0 would have killed there, but I don't know for certain. But I like what Fraud is doing in this situation as he gets out of the...
I was gonna say, I like what Fraud was doing. Look at how he's doing it. He's tossing that curling bomb, but then he keeps going sideways just to see how the enemy reacts. If there's nobody there, then he follows his ink line to use the pressure on. This is great. That curling bomb, the killer ball as well. I am very happy with this. Look at that defense as well. Jumping up, getting the KO, and keeping himself safe, getting away from the explosion of the Rapid Blaster. If this team can start pushing forward with these KOs,
is the chance.
Because right now, Fraud is doing the darn thing for his team. And Crème Fresh is looking quite poised to push us forward, but unfortunately they lose the tower until Brian is there and with his Stingray intact is actually going forward with that Scream and trying to put pressure on Red Vash over in the corner, but it's looking a little worse for wear right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of that push. They're going to lose it in this situation. That really was their chance, but it looks like they just didn't quite have all the pieces put together. Maybe a miscommunication here. That certainly looked like a strong position that they had worked themselves into, but now Kairos taking back a piece of ink that they possibly can here. Now the battle for the zone and the mid and the lanes comes back that we are so used to seeing here. And it's got to be frustrating. You got what was really a pseudo triple in that situation. But, I mean, nothing really common. Shark getting picked out there. Can't get too cute. But
Shark, no, he looked like a guppy the way he was just sitting there floundering. It's like, listen, I'm here. Just put me out of my misery, please. I'm a goldfish. I have nothing else to offer.
Not a lot there to offer, but they're going to get another chance to move this back to the middle in this situation. Red Vet going to get picked out there on the right side, and now Kronos again with all of these curling bombs that both teams seem to like to throw out. Going to try to continue putting a little bit more pressure. Brian working here on the right side. Jeremy always around that tower, and it's not difficult to understand why. Just continually putting more and more pressure on it. They know that they've got to find a way to move Jeremy, but with the way that Gamer's playing, they now have two people that they have to move if they want to even think about a push, and they really aren't getting it. They've got to pull back again.
I love the gameplay going on between Gamer and, I'm not sure who the Charger is, but whoever the Charger is on Crème Freeze, those two are really playing their long-range game really well. They're doing the darn thing, putting out the pressure and making sure they take that point, and also using the sponges, the sponge boxes, as you want to say, to really just put pressure on the team and make sure that the alleyways stay clean. Also, it looked like Fraud just kind of ran over him. That was funny. There's that baller range. That was the damage from that. I know he took damage already, but that's still just insane range by him. By the baller, I should say. I love it. That's how the baller should have been.
Yeah, and unfortunately there you saw Jeremy once again getting a really important kill. This time going to get snuck around there by Kronos. This is big. If Kronos can get that kill, oh, that was huge. If Kronos had been able to get that kill on Gamer, that would have been both of the long-range threats out of the way. They could have taken back a lot of turf and moved up and made that progressive push that they needed to. Now Jeremy's back, Gamer back set up in this defensive position. Still, I don't be surprised if Gamer sits on this, you know what it is.
The Stingray.
The Goku. Sits on it until the last frickin' second.
Exactly.
Because that can take anybody off the tower with these new buffs, and they don't have any way to move Gamer in this situation. I think Kairos is posed to take this unless the double Stingray can get something done, but I don't think it is. They're not even near the tower. I
mean, one Stingray was popped by Kairos, and they are on the tower. They have to make it happen. Brian's getting that charger, but he has to hold it down. The Stingray has been launched by Gamer. Is he going to be able to get it? He has to go on the tower and hope that the Stingray runs out. It does not run out. He holds him off, and Kairos takes it over Crème Freeze in a very tight-knit 3-2.
Incredible run here by Kairos, taking out the #1 seed, and then Crème Fresh, arguably the hottest team in Splatoon right now, takes them out too. This has been the Cinderella run for Kairos. They move on to winners finals. Wow, what a set. This has been two absolute treats, and Kairos has shown that they have what it takes to just beat these teams, but go two extremely close Team 5s, taking it first over STDX and then over Crème Fresh. Amazing stuff by Kairos, and let me tell you, man, they have something figured out with this Splatling Rapid Blaster comp.
Yeah, that comp has been so well with them, and I mean it's weird that it's doing it. I've never seen that comp really do well, but first of all, Gamer's control over it. I have never seen a heavy splatling move as much as he does, but he is going left and right, making sure he is calling out point. He's their point guard for a reason. Shout out to him for handling it. That's taking nothing away though from Crème Friche, because I mean they were giving it to him. They took 2 straight wins. Kairos had to regroup, and they did so thanks to Moray Towers and Port Mackerel. I feel bad for them. Crème Friche just looks like they could not push that tower forward on Port Mackerel. I mean, there were several factors to it, but I think the biggest one was just thanks to the heavy splatling, it could cover up a lot more of the alleys quickly and cut them off than any charger could. And then the Stingray, they both had Stingray, but that last 5-second Stingray from Gamer, that was just clutch. That was exactly what he should have done. When they got on the tower, he shut them down, took out 2 people, and that was it. That's all she wrote.